Yo ho ho! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Grim Reaper bringing you the next installment, the next iteration. More of Murata's greatness. One has compiled a listing of amazing sequences of images that happen to coincide and happen to make sense to a story. And Murata has taken the liberty, no, the right, to make those images look godly. Now we're here today with not one, not two, it was three. Three other niggas, or people. Damn.
So there goes the money. We're making no money, guys. You might as well just turn it off now. Just stop watching.
That is actually like 30 seconds in. I think of that on the dot, so good job.
No, you made it. All right, back to the monologue. We have three individuals here who've analyzed the chapter to such an extent that they could tell you the color of Black Sperm's right toenail. Today, myself and these individuals and I, will be comparing and contrasting our ideals for what not only 146 brought to us, but also summarizing what 145 put into 146 and what 147 is going to get out of 145, 146. Like if 145, 146 had a baby, it's going to be 147. And we're about to tell you what the gene's going to be for 147, but we got it right here, bro. We got it right here. All you got to do is like the video, subscribe, and check out all the links in the description for our channels, bitch. Yeah. That's a nice little intro though, isn't it?
And go ahead and go to the playlist, watch the Monster Anomaly series. Do that as well.
Much appreciated, bro. Bro, check that out, bro. Sasuke went in there, bro, like, woo. He came here like, oh, you were about to run into another access restriction.
If y'all into that type of ASMR,
don't worry, I got you, boys.
Saving the day, man. No, definitely check out the Monster Anomaly series. It's probably the best series that we have edited wise. We're all putting it together, putting a lot of work. I think next episode's coming out in a few time periods after this time period. And it'll involve Kishin and Sundown because they missed the latest one. So check out, stay tuned for that one. But here we are, man. How'd you guys feel about the chapter?
oh man, I really like this chapter. It's been it's been a while since I read it. But I remember my first impression of this chapter was I loved everything about it. Probably one of my favorite moments is in the beginning of the chapter, just them kind of doing this parallel of I guess you could say like the younger sibling talking to the older sibling, and I'm talking about Bomb and Fubuki, their conversation, and then Bang and Tatsumaki's conversation. I like that little contrast they have of those two characters, like the siblings of having their talk. So, you know, and of course there's a lot of other moments I could choose from this chapter. It was a lot of things in it. So yeah, this chapter was very eventful, and I liked it.
I want to give us a pat on the back, a round of applause for being predictive geniuses. Because what I know we'll talk about this eventually, but last time on the podcast, we were talking about what would happen when Garou shows up. Who's he going to fight? What's going to happen? And we eventually came on, oh, well, Bang makes the most sense, you know? Bang and Bomb, they make the most sense, especially Bomb, because he hasn't really done anything. So I know Sundown led the way, so I've got to hold my thumb on the key so I can speak, but that's like a round of applause, because like we did sick on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're geniuses, so I'm sure we will be speaking nothing but truth this chapter.
And facts.
And any and surely nothing will ever go wrong again.
Ever.
We're geniuses. We're boy geniuses.
Tell him.
That's the nickname of the podcast. We'll Push Around Podcast, Boy Geniuses. That's what we like to call ourselves. We don't, just me.
Child Emperors.
Child Emperor ain't got shit on us.
Yeah, this chapter was a great one. Lots of twists and turns happened. I like the conversation between Bomb and Fubuki too. I thought that was really good. The Swordsman showing up was great. Obviously, getting to see what they can do. The small moments. I think small moments between characters was great. So there's like when Garou shows up and Atomic talks about like why he's letting Bang take a hold of it. I thought that was really good. And then of course, he's here and he's scary and he's just gonna mess everything up, and it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, I enjoyed the chapter. I think we did a good job of predicting what was going to come up next, especially with the Bomb and Fubuki versus our boy. But I think what I enjoyed the most, probably this chapter, and what I was happy about, and I get the feeling Grimm is going to agree here, was getting to see a little bit more about the different swordsmen, and especially when we had returning characters like Spring Mustachio, getting to see what they can do. All that good stuff. I was really happy with that. That was really exciting. I want to see more of it. So yeah, really happy with this chapter. But I think that bit is what stood out to me.
So, Madara? I think he'll speak when he gets a chance.
Yo, what's going on? I'm at work right now, so I'm kind of in and out. What's good?
Problem, bro.
Was good.
You just wanted to get your opinion on the chapter 146.
Oh, I thought it was amazing. It's been nice to see how he's obviously setting things up and getting ready to go on, and we'll make these things happen now. It's been where we're steadily getting closer and closer to the like main event of Garou versus not just our own guys here, but at the possibility also of versus some of the other cadres that are around as well. So I'm definitely excited to see where this goes. Obviously, I've read some of the webcomic, but not up to this point. So I'm going in here blind, and I can't wait to actually see what's going to happen here.
He's my boy. All right. So, without further ado, let's hop into the greatness of 146. Like I said before, guys, if you want to support the channel, if you want to follow along with what we're doing here, check out the link in the description for the Discord. There you can converse about One Punch Man, any topic you'd like in general. Let's begin. Clench your fist. Focus on what's above you. Chapter 146. Back up. So, I think I should get this out of the way so I can get as much backlash as I need to, and we can get it out there. If Fubuki does anything to Garou, it will be a problem for me.
What exactly do you mean do something?
Like, if she manages some feat to harm or retard Garou that's successful, I will be completely this is not about Fubuki. I do not want Fubuki to get any feat off of Garou. I don't want you to grow to look impressive, anything when it comes to being in regards to Garou. It's not what you're here for. That's I literally don't we don't need that.
Does that include if she buffs these two at all? If she did it what she did with them against Rover? Because she wants to help out. And I'm not saying I don't imagine any attack. If we're about her attacking him directly, that's not going to work. But if Bang and Bomb are struggling against Garou, she gives him a little boost to help him out. He rejuvenate you again. That's her pushing herself to a limit. Is that okay, or is it just anything in this?
I mean, if we get a Unohana Kyoraku Ukitage scenario, versus Yamamoto, that's somewhat reasonable, right? Where you have the two main fighters, we will be Bang and Bomb, and she's healing them and powering you up. If that's the aspect where she's taking a support completely out of the scenario, fine. That might even give us a reason for Garou to attack Fubuki and somebody to once again save her. If that's her feat of like staying alive or assisting them or being their lifeline, then sure. But that has way too many implications on the rest of the storyline. For example, if we take your boosted up scenario, right, which we already previously saw up against Rover, does that mean that we're not going to actually get a true measure of Bomb and Bang up against the actual disciple Garou? Like, is Garou never going to face with his true water stream, his improved water stream, up against the master himself? And that's the thing that we have to see. It's not just about like, well, I think it almost completely encapsulates that itself, that like this is a master student scenario. It's not like Bang is Garou's dad. There's not like some other type of connection going on there. No, like this is his master. That's really it. He feels endeared for the old man. We've seen both Garou in reference to the old man, his mental thoughts, as well as Bang's mental thoughts or verbal thoughts in regards to Garou. So we know they care for each other, but there's never been like a declaration that like, oh, he's my son or like anything like that. It's like master disciple, and in that there's usually a whole like, okay, my style versus your style. Because at the end of the day, like as crazy as Garou's gone, isn't the point of a disciple to beat the master, to prove that you can beat the master?
I mean, that's going to be part of what we expect when Bane gets into this fight. I think, well, to speak on the Fubuki thing, I'm with Matt. I believe that she will probably be in a support role. Maybe there will be, like, before Bane gets into the fray of the fight, maybe there'll be a situation where Garou goes for the killing blow, and then Fubuki does something like put up a shield around him. I could see her doing things like that. The rejuvenation, we already know about that. Yeah, her attack should not hurt Garou based on what we know. So I think support is the only thing she could do in this situation. So that's one part of it. I think an interesting question of this fight between Garou and Bomb is how is Garou going to approach this fight? Is he going to use the water stream fist? Like, will he try to beat them with what he's learned, or what he's been taught by them, or what he's been learning over the course of since he's been the hero hunter? I think that's more interesting, because if it were like he used it's like equal playing field, they both use the same style, and then Garou like trumps Bomb, that would show. I think that would be like the ultimate test of how strong he's gotten, because then we can't attribute him winning to Bomb being overwhelmed because he's never seen his style before or anything like that. So I think how he approaches the fight is interesting.
Agreed.
Matt Sundell.
Yeah, I agree with both Matt and Satsuki. If Fubuki manages to like harm or even slow down Garou to an extent where, she slows him down significantly, I'd be annoyed with that. But I really feel like you said, this is going to be a Garou's moment. This is his time to shine, and we're going to start to see Fubuki in more of a support role. Actually, she's been in a support role from the get-go, I think. But yeah, she's going to be more in a support role with both Bomb and Bang. Then we're going to see, I think, the beginnings of the struggle against Garou. And Satsuki brings up a really, really interesting point in terms of what's he actually going to utilize. Is he going to utilize more of what he's learned since he's been away from his master, or is he going to utilize the same techniques that his master taught him? I have a feeling it's going to be like we've seen before, him using a combination of both of their styles, both Bang and Bombs, which might come as a surprise to Bang, because I'm pretty sure he's unaware that Garou can use his brother's style. So maybe it'll come as a surprise to kind of both of them that, oh crap, wait, he learned it simply by looking at it, which would be quite an interesting dynamic, I think. But yeah, I don't think Fubuki should be able to damage or slow down Garou to any extent.
Garou's greatest strength is definitely how he evolves and adapts in his fights. Like when, for example, I just think of like when he was fighting against Genos, he started to lose out in speed, so then he started to take on, like, what was it, Genos or Bang? When he started taking on Watchdog Man's like style of movement because he was like, that's more effective for me to move. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a moment in this fight where like he is fighting against both of them. And like, he starts fighting normally, but when that's not necessarily going to his advantage, then he starts adapting, and then that's when he changes his style. Because obviously, at this point, he isn't just a human anymore. He's not the human Garou who fought against him before. He's the monster Garou. So he's going to probably have no problem like doing a lot more vicious kind of fighting styles at this point. And Garou's always been vicious, but even then. So just a cool moment I think that could happen is obviously if he doesn't really piece together how, like, we know about like their combo moves. If he can use them separately, but if they use a combo move on him, he comes back and he just hits them back with their like combo.
Oh
moves,
my
like
god! Oh, that would be godly.
Yeah, so they made just like an immediate like cross dragon slaying fist.
Remember, we can predict everything, people in the podcast, so that's gonna happen.
That'd be fine.
No, yeah, 100%. Like, whew, there's a lot of potential in this. Just in this man showing up right now, there's so much potential. Like, we shouldn't even get into it. We should be talking about Bomb and Fubuki's conversation, especially in regards to Tatsumaki right now. But man, like, this man showing up, like, there's so many different like lines of possibilities that are not plausible. Like, he could do whatever to anybody, and it would be badass. Like, anybody he did that thing to right now, it would be badass to see. Like, tell me Garou versus Darkshine again wouldn't be godly. Tell me Garou versus whatchamacallit, Bang and Bomb together wouldn't be godly. Like, tell me Garou versus like Fear Ugly and Gum somehow wouldn't be like godly. Like, even Natural Water versus Garou, bro. Come on, bro. Like, Black Sperm, a whole army of Sperm versus Garou. Stop it. Everything here is too much.
See, something I did realize is Tank Top's there, and Genos can't be too far away because Bang's kind of near him too, and we know he just dropped off Tank Top. So do you think there could potentially be like a big rematch of like Garou's toughest opponents all against him at once? So like maybe it's like Bang and Bomb at first, then Genos shows up, and when Tank Top gets up, he tries to tackle him, and then if Darkshine gets a moment away from Black Sperm for any reason, I can't see how, but then it's like all of them against Garou.
I don't want to like. Go ahead.
I was going to say that would be pretty dope because I wasn't thinking about that, like the potential rematches. I don't think Tank Top needs a rematch because he already lost the first one. He got his ass whooped.
Yeah,
so
that's fine. I don't. But if there's some power with the Tank Top, there's some power there.
Oh no!
If he wants a power boost, now's the time.
But certainly with Genos, I think with like that is plausible. I can see that happening.
I was definitely under the I'm not under any illusion. Like, I don't want to like imagine the fight because it's gonna like spoil the fight. Like, I can imagine some shit, bro. We're not gonna be doing that thing out there.
I was gonna say, with all due respect, you think you can imagine what this man's about to do?
nah. Like, I was thinking about it, like, because I have mentioned the whole rematch grudge thing. Like, if I was hyping up Metal Bat like a few weeks back, because now it's not only Tank Top who's coincidentally hopping in with from some electrical lines or poles or whatever. We got Metal Bat inbound now, running through a barrier. Genos is still intact and capable, and he doesn't have the 10-second cannon anymore to cheat, so he can't say, oh no, he's above Dragon. Like, Garou's almost basically done. Like, pretty much everybody here who it matters that he gets a rematch for is here. Besides, like, who, Watchdog? Maybe Saitama, like.
Yeah.
But let's hold our horses. Let's stay on track. There's a lot of things to make. Let me stop saying words that the algorithm's gonna pick up and do monetize us. It'll be somewhat PC, somewhat. Bomb and Fubuki. This pep talk here, is it redundant to you? Like, what did you guys feel about this conversation that Fubuki and Bomb had? Like, what's up?
I felt like what Bomb was saying was just coming from experience, so I don't feel like it's redundant because it kind of expands on things we already know about, like Fubuki and Tatsumaki not being alike. But I think that's just him speaking from how his relationship is with his own brother. So like that's why I appreciated it. because when they first had those two characters grouped together, I didn't think much of like what the implications of those two talking together meant. But then like when the next page after the conversation, you see Bang and Tatsumaki, it's like, okay, we have like the two siblings, and in the case of Bang, the younger one, Tatsumaki, the older one, Fubuki, younger, Bomb, older. So like, yeah, when he's talking about how Fubuki and Tatsumaki are nothing alike, but they still have that commonality. He points to his chest, like same heart. I think he's speaking to how he feels about Bang. So I appreciate the conversation, and I don't think it was long enough to feel like it was redundant. Because it was like, what, that whole conversation took place in 3 pages, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say if you think it feels, and this is not a shot at anyone who might feel that it is, I think it's probably because you just want them to get to the action already. But yeah, I don't think it was a redundant conversation at all. Was it necessary? Probably not, but it was still pretty good to get some more uh, perspective on how both of them view their siblings, I believe.
Yeah. I don't think it was redundant at all. I mean, just from the perspective of we've seen from the beginning that Fubuki has always had this kind of maybe an inferiority complex. She definitely feels some sort of way in terms of inferior to her sister. So getting someone else, especially from Bomb's perspective, tell her that it's almost like a confidence booster, telling her that she still has the same heart, kind of same drive, same desire for protecting and being a hero. That's kind of what's important here. I felt like that was a cool perspective to get from Bomb, and would hopefully serve as kind of a motivating factor for Fubuki in the future, where even though she might not be as powerful, so long as she continues to grind, continues to try, and continue with that same kind of heroic heart and mindset, that she can continue to try to be and strive to be a badass hero.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be seen as redundant because this conversation was needed, like what Modera said. But at the same time, doesn't mean I didn't like this conversation. I did like it. I like what I keep going bang. I like what Bomb said. He wasn't speaking to us like a fighter or someone who was like superior to inferior to. He was speaking like someone else who was grown up with a sibling. This is the kind of things you'll go through, and you notice these things as you grow older. And this could be like an important conversation for Buki's future with whatever happens with her and Tatsumaki, where she's like, we're more alike than you think. And then like this could be common ground for them to start actually getting on with each other and starting to like recognize each other's values and what they believe in.
Also, it was a little funny too because they make like a subtle boob joke.
It wasn't particularly subtle, but
yeah, I mean, like it wasn't. Well, not subtle. It just wasn't explicit. It's just like because he pointed to his chest, and then Fubuki looks down. She's like, "Nah, we not alike there. I don't know what you talk about."
When I say like redundant, I mean more so like we already got the whole like, hey, we know you don't want her to fight. Genos and Bang already got up and said, "Oh, hey, we'll protect her. We'll help her fight." Like, I get that she's gonna continue wanting to keep going. Like, I guess that's why it's not bad because it makes sense that Fubuki would continue wanting to help her sister. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even want to say that like it's because I wanted more of Garou because I didn't even know it was gonna happen, and I felt like this kinda in the beginning of the chapter when I saw it. Like, I get it already. She doesn't want any help, and like even the panel right after that is Tatsumaki yelling, "Will you leave me alone?" Like once again reiterating the same problems that we like. Yeah, I think it was like chapter 144 or before that. We could like officially point out and clearly state that the main storyline or the main plot of Tatsumaki and Fubuki is that one is on the extreme side of the spectrum while the other one is on the complete other. And they're trying to balance each other out with their relationship as sisters. And there's other aspects to it as well. I'm not trying to just bog it down to that, but like That's already been made clear, and this is just, to me, it seems redundant. Like, I know you're gonna try to fight alone, but you can't even, like, you're not even doing better than Bang. Like to this point, it's like, come on, like, I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
It's just it's just funny to me. That panel was just funny to me. I'm sorry.
I love that panel.
Hey, Tatsumaki look. I don't even know what to say with Tatsumaki. She looks horrible in that one panel.
She looks stunning in that panel.
All right, so some details here to point out. Atomic Samurai still using his technique of like not killing Sperm, and Aeon is now using Atomic Samurai's second sword. Now, I'm not a real data book type of guy. I don't necessarily give credit to any of the statements or any information that's there. Some of the information's already been contradicted in the manga, redrawn sometimes even. There's different things that don't necessarily correlate exactly to the story. So I hold the manga as the canon source above everything else. If it's not drawn in the manga, so I was told that Atomic Samurai's blades were made by a particular unnamed swordsman. And I wanted to mention that because this kind of helps differentiate between why Eon's blade broke. Is it just because his sword was like weak or trash, or was it like some type of technique? Like Atomic Samurai's deflecting all these even natural water cannons like nothing. There's nothing happening to his blade. But Eon was deflecting some of them, and then his blade would get pierced right through. So what's the difference there? So I think that the fact that Eon's now using Atomic Samurai's sword, that this may be our chance to see whether Atomic Samurai's cutting technique is why his sword isn't breaking, or whether it's his sword himself. As in, like, the next time even natural water attacks Eon, if he pokes a hole through it, then we know it's Atomic Samurai's technique.
That sounds right, yeah. I mean, I always just thought it was skill. That's all it was. But yeah, this is a good... I don't know what atomic swords are made from, but yeah, if it is, this is the best way to see.
Yeah, well, sword...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The swords can always be an X factor, but because they've never really focused on atomic sword being the, like, you know, him talking about like, oh, like my blades, like the blade itself hasn't been focused on in atomic fights. It's mostly been what he's been able to do. I mean, he's cut motherfuckers with his toothpick.
With his toothpick, yeah, exactly.
So it's more like himself is being focused on, not the blade.
Agreed. Because is his sword even named?
No, for sure it isn't. Yeah, I think you'd have to check it yourself, viewers. But I think if somebody could, like, in the comment section, if you guys could specify for the rest of the community, that it states that Atomic Samurai's swords were made by a special blacksmith, an unnamed special blacksmith. Nothing else besides that. So I'm interested to see how that develops, or if that's going to be the connection for that.
Say that just might be a character we might end up meeting in the future.
That's what it sounds like, because we have... The reason why I'm interested in it is because we got this peculiar, or this special example in the chapter that gave us a flashback of Metal Bat, right? Apparently his bat is specially made. What else is the association making? Like, did Metal Knight make Metal Bat's bat? I don't think so. If he did, that would make sense as to why it's so badass, but, like... Did he...
I mean, but even there, if Metal Knight made it, then why does his mech suits get destroyed kind of easily?
That's true. And up against EC, Metal Bat's bat didn't, like, break or anything.
Didn't bend at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
We will have to wait and see.
Yeah, but it would be cool to get more examples of, like, association made weapons. Like, that would be... Especially if we're gonna give actual credit to Metal Bats, which I think we can. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Go ahead.
No. You are going.
I was gonna make a bad joke. I think it's the same guy that supplies Darkshine with his right hand.
Wait, what?
It's the same guy that spies Darkshine with his spray tan.
What? I mean, he do stay. He do stay. Like you won't see no smudges or anything. So hey, it is sturdy.
I'm telling you what we say on this podcast comes true, guys.
So next we have the Sperm Army. And yes, algorithm, I am talking about Black Sperm.
I'm sorry, is there a number one we can confuse that for?
Yeah, I'm kind of mad that you have to specify that.
Nigga stupid.
So we got to see an instance of well, let me get out of my head all the BS and shit talking and slander that was done throughout the community throughout this like 2 weeks, bro. Like it's been tough, bro. Like Black Sperm flexing is nothing but slander. But Atomic Samurai previously encountered a much smaller scale of the numerosity, if that's a word. I think the big number.
Innumerable.
Not like a word.
I don't know.
Innumerable.
Numerosity.
I believe.
Yeah. The innumerable amount of sperm. But
There you go.
but the degree or scale of the innumerability of the sperm previously at Atomic Face was much smaller than this one. In this chapter, Black Sperm goes into detail about what's going on. I think it's about time we're in the section that we can address all the dialogue in its entirety and address this point completely. So we get this information showing us that Black Sperm has a limit to how much he can split. Previously, we didn't know this.
Yeah.
Previously, we really had an implication that, like as Black Sperm stated, and as we see even in this chapter, that whenever you kill Black Sperm, he splits into multiple pieces. And those split pieces, if those are also killed, they also split into multiple pieces. So you see the dilemma of fighting Black Sperm. Now we also know that he can do it individually. He can split without being assaulted. And we see the extent of that here in this chapter. So before we go into every panel, your opinions about Black Sperm.
I'm glad he has a limit now.
A limiter, yeah, exactly.
Because before we didn't know how he could possibly be beaten. Especially with someone like Darkshine, where he's not really being affected by these attacks. Now it seems like he has some type of weakness, but because before we just didn't understand what they could do to beat him. You cut him, he splits. You beat him, he split, or he doesn't even split, but he'll be fine. It's alright. And since he can split himself, it doesn't really matter if you don't try to attack him. Like the only thing you could possibly try to do, and that's if you're only facing one of them, is like maybe try to seal him. But that's impossible now. So it looked like a daunting task to beat him. But now it feels like, and now it's like kind of grounded. Okay, now we know how to deal with him. So I'm just happy that there's some type of limit. He's still going to be a hard opponent to beat, but at least there's something that we can latch on to.
I mean, my takeaway from this was slightly different because, well, to me, he can be killed is what it looks like. Because I mean, just like if a part of impact hits him, that's what the explosions are like that I see. But when obviously we get to that panel of like find everything with a Sperm tsunami, like at that point you may as well be limitless, because if your absolute limit is that much, like that's still a crazy amount. That's like
billions.
Exactly. Like you may as well say limitless is your limit, because when your entire form, like altogether, is strong enough to like just you rolling around, is you like knocking over buildings, like tearing apart the land.
But it's a whole coastline and shit. Like it's almost a whole coastline.
Exactly. Like that's what's scary to me, is like his limit is not. It's not like even like 1,000 or 10,000. It's actually like countless.
Yeah, I mean it's super impressive. but it sacrifices a whole lot of power though. Like a whole lot of power, which is like I don't even like. I'm not trying to be like extreme or like
I didn't get to this chapter. Why? What do you mean it sacrifices power?
because
I
like, do you see the way Darkshine is handling it?
Yeah, but
I mean,
for the impression that I've got from this chapter is that like, regardless, he's tanking it. Not that because like this is
true.
I I agree with Mara in the sense of it's like he's losing power, but I think you get to the point where like the numbers you are producing is the power. You know, with that
True,
many
but it's like he's way more effective when he's like with what he did to Atomic Samurai. Like, is he still dragon power level to y'all? Split apart like this?
what dragons are doing this?
I understand splitting apart. I'm saying attack power. His attack power is not there apparently.
Look at his attack power. The whole coastline is ripped apart. This is one guy. That's Black Sperm.
But the city is already destroyed. Grim was like, it's circumstantial at this point.
Well, I don't. Oh, you're not looking at the panel on the. Okay, you're not following the.
No, I am looking at the panel.
Okay.
I've read the chapter. Like that's what I'm saying. I understand what he's doing, but the city is already destroyed. Orochi destroyed the city. Like the city's gone. It's a lost cause at this point.
I know, but
I get what y'all both are saying because it's like what Madara is saying is he's sacrificing quality for quantity, but what Matt is saying is that the quantity is so great that sacrifice that isn't really much of a sacrifice because when your numbers are multiplied by this much, the power output of the quality of each individual black sperm it doesn't matter. And I get both points, but I think
I'm asking though. I'm saying Satsuki is like if he attacks. Let's just say Darkshine is there. Is he hurting Darkshine with this ability, with this technique? Is he hurting Darkshine?
No.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's not doing anything. It's impressive what he's doing. I'm not taking away the scope of it. The scope is one of the best things we've seen inside of the series. This, I'm not going to blaspheme and say it puts because we know. What was the name? It was Centipede was a continent level threat, right?
basically,
Yeah, because it took Blast to like show up to actually deal with him in the past. So what scale would you put him on? Are you putting him on the same scale?
well, that's the difference. Like, okay, this is we have to get a little bit more in depth for this, but I think
Yeah.
I definitely think it's worth it because this is an essential part of the story. I think this is a good argument. I agree with what you're saying that like maybe individually the sperms are different, and I more so agree with Matt that like the mass is the reason why this is impressive. Now, when you bring up Darkshine, this is why I think next chapter will elaborate more so. I think this chapter did a bad job of explaining the concept.
Okay, yeah.
I can agree that this, for example, the sperm tsunami is the panel that we're on right now, looking at to describe the scope of Black Sperm's splitting ability. I mentioned the city because only Elder Centipede is doing this in one moment, in one swift attack. Like Darkshine with a punch isn't doing what is on the screen right now. Neither is Phoenix Man. Neither is maybe Homeless Emperor. We haven't seen it. Like what he just did right now, we're not seeing it. So like the power that he has is there. Like he split and he has the power now to wipe an entire coastline out by moving across it. That's a tremendous increase in power. But yet it still isn't denting Darkshine. I find that more to be like a accolade for Darkshine than a degradation of Black Sperm's power. Because I more, like I said before, I more so lean with Matt's a theory that like the innumerous amount of sperm is the reason why it's superior attack. I guess strategy.
Okay. All right. I understand that.
just because we're talking about Black Sperm, I've just been thinking like just in general about him. Like with him and Homer Emperor apparently being like, you know, if all things go wrong, if those two team up, they can beat anyone. Why has he, like, we obviously know very little about his backstory, but why has he not done anything yet? I mean, in terms of like the world, because if he can cause like this level of destruction, Like, and if this is like his absolute limit, but he can do this, you know, why is he just kind of sat back and let everything else happen? And maybe like it was a case of he didn't exist at this point in time, but I think just in comparison to everything else we've seen, like he's very capable.
Man,
and
what
like
do you?
he's pretty confident in himself.
Man, what do you?
Sorry, go on.
We went through Black Sperm backstory.
Oh my
All
god.
right. I just wanted to ask a genuine question. I'll shut up.
Just think about the algorithm now.
I'll speak when spoken to. Okay, sorry.
Oh shit!
Well, no, but you did bring up a good point though, because like the argument made beforehand was about Gero was that Black Sperm and Homeless Emperor teamed up could take down Orochi or anybody else, and that's actually something I was thinking about as well, which was we have Black Sperm with this move that you see on the panel right now, which is Sperm Tsunami. Is that something which we think would allow or enable Black Sperm to be able to give someone like Orochi a problem? And if so, then we're basically saying that this mode of Black Sperm is basically his ultimate form and would probably be able to take out someone like Orochi. Whereas I don't really think this would be enough to pose a problem to someone like Orochi. I mean, especially if Darkshine can handle this in basically base state and not really have to do much. All he'd have to do is stand there and take these attacks. So I feel like, once again, this doesn't feel like the peak for Black Sperm for me, just because of how much he's been hyped by characters in the verse. There seems to be something that's missing here, almost as if, you know, there's another form or another kind of state where he's more than what he is right now. And I'm not sure if that's just me, but I'm kind of expecting more.
He said he has the merge. That's the next one that we haven't seen. He said this is the well, it was in the dialogue of him talking about the problem that he had with Darkshine, about like him splitting is not going to give him power, as a credit to what Madara was mentioning before, and that he has some merge. So we'll see, I guess, what that extreme is as well. If this one was like a Sperm Tsunami, like where he's gonna like fuse down into like a single point or something. I don't know, but like, good.
I was gonna say, I just thought it'd be like what he did against Atomic, where he made like a big buff version of him, but obviously just multiplied to the absolute mass. So obviously, like each individual one can't hit him hard enough, but if like 1,000 of them combine into one like giant, like Black Sperm, then maybe they could start hitting him hard enough.
Ooh, like a King Kong sperm, bro, like a woo, a kaiju sperm. They're like, ooh.
Oh man,
these strong Black Sperm.
That'll be wild.
No,
Kaiju Sperm.
it's definitely this guy's a problem. Like, is there any like disagreement on like is there not billions of sperm here? Like, is it thousands? Like, how do you like?
I mean, with a tsunami, like there has to be billions. And if you understand how much of a volume of water you need to create a tsunami, like you need like billions of gallons in order to create a tsunami that big, if not almost near trillions. So yeah, he has to be split to like a billion at the very least. At the very least.
God bro.
Let's just call him countless, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Innumerous sperm. Damn.
How are we interpreting his split limit here? Are we assuming that if like let's say 20% of these get killed, he can still regain that 20%? So it's just a cap to that limit, or is this basically he's split and he can't split anymore beyond this now?
That's super interesting. This was my theory on how to beat Black Sperm. As in, like, after reading 146, I thought, okay, if the maximum limit that you can split to is 10, then if I cut you while there's 10 of you, then you just got cut. Like, you're not going to split more. And it's not going to be an 11th one because you can't split, right? So technically you would be killing or deleting the one that you cut at 10. But I did not think about him being able to regenerate once that limit is like, once he comes down from that threshold, like 99 or to 100 back and forth like that. You would think that would be kind of cheating, because it's basically the same thing as being like innumerous. Like, unless you kill them all at the same time,
Yeah, I feel like it has to be the latter of what Sundown was saying, because if it's the case to where he he has this tsunami of sperm and we cut down his numbers by let's just say 10 or something, and then he can regrow that number again, that's too much, I believe. So I feel like there is a literal number limit to how much sperm can be produced, and once he reaches that limit, you can cut down those numbers
and they won't regenerate, right? So then, are we saying that like if there's 10 sperm and that's the limit, and you kill 9, that one sperm can't split to make 9 more?
That's what I believe it has to be, because if he can regenerate those numbers again, that would be too much.
I actually don't see a reason why he wouldn't be able to.
Because if it's just that,
like he should be able to.
If it's just that, then like you said, the only way to beat him is if you're literally beating all of them at once. And if that's the case, then him even suggest an idea of merging to I don't know, beat Darkshine would be stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try to beat him individually, but if they can't beat you, then why even bother?
Are
we under the impression that they can't beat him?
Man, it's like we need a guy who can just beat them all in one punch. We just need a guy like that to show up.
They are just fighting for their fucking life right now.
Like we.
I mean, no, I was gonna say I think someone like maybe a Tatsumaki at full strength could take him out. With some of her feats that she's done in this fight so far. The whole tower. Even before that, she felt around the entire city to find the roots of Orochi. Like, so I think she would be a prime one who could actually give him a very hard time to not beat him.
Oh, I could definitely see that. Yeah.
I don't even think if Chad Emperor still had the Emperor Nova, it could take him all out in one hit.
I ain't gonna lie.
Emperor Nova?
Mate, you and your Emperor Nova. I swear, what's every podcast you bring this up? What next? How would the Focus Atomic Slash do against it? Hey?
Murata, put me in a manga. I'll beat this nigga.
I'm your daddy.
And with the Sasuke caving fist? Oh my god.
Sasuke caving fist.
That'd be like the next chapter. It's just like not only cancel Swordsman, we're here as well.
Oh shit. No, but to hop on back on what Sasuke said, like, yeah, I don't really think they have they can really beat him right now. Like, I can definitely yield to Tatsumaki at full power. We've seen what she can do. It's unquestionable. She's
a monster.
Atomic hasn't shown the AP to like even kill not even 1% of these at once.
Yeah.
Neither is Bang. Neither is Bomb. Nobody has the power to assault all of the sperm at once.
Yeah. Even Bang admitted that like his technique is just pretty much absolute defense. There's really not gonna say that he lacks offensive power, but compared to everybody else, he lacks offensive power.
I'm not questioning Saitama, but has he shown like one technique that could wipe out all the sperm at once?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Super serious punch.
Oh yeah.
The one he did to
super serious, like
to EC. That EC, like all of EC popped. Like it wasn't like he popped. Like
it's just he's like so spread. That like the reason I say that is he's so spread out over he's like a landmass almost.
With Sperm?
Yeah. Like obviously, like he would wash him, but I don't know.
You reckon he'd need to do it in one punch, or could he just speed blitz him?
I think he'd do it in one punch. I mean, it's his name, but I mean, like obviously,
yeah, his title to shit.
Are we having a conversation about Black Sperm fighting Saitama seriously?
Not really.
No, it's
They're
just
serious,
figuring
Saitama,
out.
no.
I just
No,
want to
no
know
one
like
feels Saitama serious.
I just want to know like what it would take for him to get rid of all like this numerous black sperm in one move.
A decent enough punch. There we go.
A decent enough.
That's it. He doesn't need to go serious, but he's like, decent punch. There we go. That's fine.
He just throws Darkshine at him.
Oh my god.
That'd be pretty cool.
They could use Darkshine as a weapon. I ain't gonna lie.
Were we talking about Metal Bat using Darkshine as a weapon at one point?
Yeah, we were.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you're gonna need something because this is like I was hyping on Melzigard for taking on like 4S class, but this is not the same thing. This is ridiculous. Like,
Do you even think Blast would be? Because to be fair, we don't know much about Blast besides his Elder Centipede encounter. But from what we've seen, I'm not too sure what he would be able. Well, just judging by the EC stuff, he should be able to do something, but I'm not too sure.
Shit, he didn't even get rid of EC. So I don't know what that bump can do.
God damn, man. Like, I don't know. Is there anything else we can? Yeah, before we hop on to the other guys. Oh yeah, we do got some more for Sperm. Before we continue with the Sperm, though, no homo. No homo for all this. No homo for all this. Entire podcast.
Okay.
It's covering the entire podcast. All right, we're good.
I think you're a little late for that, son.
Darkshine.
Yeah.
Is this like we've talked about our opinions about black sperm, and we've now talked about like the sperm tsunami and such and all that, the splitting limit, the merging limit that we're gonna see next. Is this like just more impressive for Darkshine? Like, is his stock continuing to raise? Like, or is the Garou barrier like just is it still there? Like when you compare his impressiveness up against Black Sperm to what happened up against Garou, has Darkshine become more impressive in your eyes, or is it still about the same, or has it become less impressive? Like considering what happened with Garou and considering right now.
Well, okay. He's the same for me, and I gotta clarify what I mean by that because I thought Darkshine was still impressive in a Garou fight, and I don't think that diminished what I thought about his power. It's just his will and like his actual personality that took a hit after that fight. But I don't think you could question his ability to tank a lot of these hits because he came out that fight clean, and I think that's just a testament to how strong he is. So like it's the same for me because I never really had a negative. My stock for Darkshine's endurance and his ability to tank things didn't diminish after the Garou fight, just because, like I said, he came out that fight and he wasn't bruised up. It was just his ego that took a hit.
Yeah, I think Satsuki got it basically hit the nail on the head there. Darkshine was never his physical prowess and his abilities. We never really brought into question. Besides, obviously, his inability to actually beat Garou. It was more his will, his drive, and his kind of reflection on himself that was damaged. I think this does kind of, for me though, personally, a little bit raise his stock. Just seeing how much difficulty the other S class heroes, especially Atomic, is having with
That's funny, bit.
with Black Sperm. Just the difficulty that they're having just because of the sheer volume of sperm.
Niggas forgot. We 1v1 the nigga that's fighting the entire S class right now. And we fought even
I'm sorry.
But
I mean, that was a very impressive survival feat for Atomic.
He said it.
Oh shit! I think you can kind of parallel Darkshine to Rover in a sense that they both like what happened to them and how they got beat with Darkshine, of course, Garou, and Rover with Saitama. Their power didn't diminish in that. It's just that they both were after they got beat, we kind of had the question like, damn, okay, if their heart's not in it, then that changes a lot of things. That's the factor that changes with them that we didn't really think of before. We didn't after Rover got hit by Saitama, we didn't go like, oh damn, Rover's weak. We didn't go like that. It's just okay, when Rover sees someone stronger than him, he's gonna wisen up.
Now, I would like to see Rover versus Darkshine.
Bro, I was just thinking that, bro. Like, oh my god, bro. Like,
We brought that
Excuse
up
me?
before. We brought that up before.
yeah, but it like that doesn't make you nut any less. Like, bro.
Hey, we got enough Black Sperm in this chapter. We don't need no more.
I'm just saying, look, bro. What happens? The nigga Rover pop out from the hole, bro, right behind Garou. Looks at Garou, and then doesn't attack him. And you get Garou and Rover versus everybody, bro. Like, oh my god.
Well, Garou just rides Rover into battle.
Oh, that'd be kind of raw.
Nah, bro. You get Rover do his volley, right? At all the S class, right? To throw a whole smoke screen. And he's got to block or dodge. And then while they doing that, Garou starts speed blitzing niggas, bro. Starts speed blitzes Eon first, bro. Takes his ass out. Gets Atomic bad, bro. Speed blitzes Fubuki, bro. Takes her ass out. Gets Genos mad, bro.
Calm down.
Speed blitzes Bomb. Takes his ass out, bro. Then goes, then has a fight, Bang, Atomic, and Darkshine at the same time. And then Rover comes out of nowhere, just slams Darkshine across the way, bro. Just hits him with them cannons, man. Since about across the entire battlefield. And then Bang ain't finna fight him, bro. Atomic ain't finna fight him, bro. That's for Darkshine, man. You leave Atomic and Bang for Garou, and then Atomic leaves him alone and deals with Sperm, bro. That's what it's gonna be, bro. It's gonna be Bang, Darkshine, and Atomic fighting Sperm, Rover, and Garou. And we gonna
That seems really one-sided.
You think Rover's a game, bro? This ain't no game, man.
I think Darkshine and clapping.
Wow. You sure, bro?
We
You seen what Saitama did to him, right?
Yeah, gave him a love tap.
Oh. How many love taps can you take?
Not many.
Oh.
From who? From who? Saitama?
Yeah.
Think about 4.
Nah, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Depends on if I ate my breakfast or not.
All right, so the last point about Black Sperm is, I guess it's about Homeless Emperor, not really Black Sperm, and then we'll get on to the new introduction that arrived. Matt mentioned earlier of the continued lack of cooperation amongst Homeless Emperor and Black Sperm. Previously, we were told by Psychos mentioned that if Black Sperm and Homeless Emperor were to fight together, that it's just as unstoppable as Orochi, as an implication. So, is this a delay tactic done by artists, storytellers to give great impact to their teamwork? Is this the detailing of why the Monster Association will fail because of their lack of teamwork in contrast to the Hero Association? Or is Homeless Emperor really going to do that thing to Black Sperm?
Well,
I think your point of it being a lack of teamwork is definitely going to play into their defeat. We saw what happened between Pig God and the ugly guy. Since they weren't working together, you had someone, not to downplay him by any means. Again, he's my favorite S class, but you had someone like Bang Fang who run the gambit on these guys like it was nothing. I mean, he handled them both like it was practice. So I definitely do think it's going to come down to that the fact that these guys won't play nice, even though they're on the same team. That is why they're going to lose.
That's the ironic thing about that Gums and Fear Ugly thing is that they were actually trying to work together. They tried. Man came in there. He was like, nah, bro. They were actually like in sync. They were in sync, like perfectly. Like,
she was scary for a little bit, bro. Fear Gums. That nigga dirty, bro. That nigga like, ooh.
You know what? You are right, and that does speak to, I guess, the how impressive Bang is and Genos were. Because to like your point, they were trying to work together because you had him beat up Tank Top and then throw the body back to Gums, but then you had both Bang and just come in like it was nothing and demolish it. So yeah, you're right. They were trying to work together.
I think it's great storytelling too, because we're getting to see the monsters do both aspects. It's not like the heroes are just gonna push through working together, and then when they do it, they got it. No, we've gotten a glimpse of what happens when just two cadres work together, just two, and they're that devastating. So, and then we get to see what also happens when that breaks down. So, whoever's next, continue. Go ahead.
So I think for me, the way I saw the competition between the cadres was that there were three of them who kind of saw themselves as above the rest: Black Sperm, Homeless Emperor, and was it Fura Ugly? Yeah. So Fura Ugly teaming up with Gums, I feel is him kind of being like, yeah, I'm just going to team up with this kind of like a lackey, and he's going to help me out to kind of fulfill my goal of being the best. But these two, because once again, these two are kind of in direct competition, just like they would be with Fura Ugly. You're not going to see these two working together unless and I think they would only ever work together if they were pushed into it by something they feared. So if something powerful enough came where they were forced to work together, then they would try to do that. And I think that's what kind of Gyoro was a little bit afraid of and just aware of, which was if Orochi got to a point where he had to deal with these two, then they might actually team up against him. But I think their personalities are just so conflicting that unless it was something they were both genuinely afraid of, they wouldn't work together. So even though Black Sperm here is calling out for Homeless Emperor, I don't think Homeless Emperor is going to help out unless maybe Saitama or someone like that pops up and wipes out like 80% of Black Sperm. Then Homeless Emperor would probably shit himself as well.
I do want to ask this question too. Do you think Black Sperm asking Homeless Emperor for cover fire is a result of him splitting so much? Because we saw that he was even bickering with himself, and that them splitting kind of it messes up their synchron. It messes up the sync because as he split they kind of sort of lose intelligence too, I think, but they kind of become more individuals. They just like lose their teamwork completely. So what, like, was him asking Homeless Emperor for help because he split so much? Like, would that be a normal Black Sperm thing to do?
I mean, if he split that much, I think so. It's like an army without a commander. They're all soldiers, but they're all just kind of doing their own thing, what they think is best. Like, there's no one clearly leading them. So I think at this point, they're just like, they're looking for any kind of help they can get with this one because they're not working as one unit.
And it seems a bit strange to me that he would ask for cover fire if he couldn't split any further. Because no doubt in that cover fire, a lot of his own selves, a lot of his own Black Sperms would get killed in the kind of carpet bombing. So surely that would then mean even if he loses those, he could either recover them or he just simply has so many of them he doesn't mind losing a couple thousand maybe.
So a homeless assault would take out a couple thousand maybe? Man.
Maybe.
I definitely like how Sundown made the strong, I guess, like detailed assumption or inference that Psycho's thought or mention of that statement may have been in reference to their insubordination in general. That like if they were to fight, that it would be a force. I have to reread the statement again to see the context exactly, but it seems pretty on point. I'm excited for it, bro. There's so many pieces here that are so exciting. Like, Garou just showed up, and Homeless Emperor could attack Black Sperm. Like, and Darkshine could fight Garou. Like, oh my god. Like, and Metalback could show up to fight Garou. Like, oh my god, bro. And Genos almost did that thing to Garou when they fought. And now he got a super boosted up. They're both super boosted up. Stop it. Oh my god, another plot point. You got Bang right there, bro. A whole another, bro, the plot point right there, bro. You got Bomb. The nigga who he literally looked at him once, glanced, saw him a little bit, and got the whirlwind from, bro. A true master. Supposed to be stronger than Bang. Another plot point, bro. You got what else? You got Flashy and caped fuck somewhere around here too. Like
No,
there's somewhere, bro.
no, I just meant don't call him that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. But like these niggas don't know, bro. Like, this is, I don't mean to talk shit because I'm not even reading it, and I probably don't even know what's going on. But niggas have been trashing the Kaido fight, bro. I'm talking Oda hyped up Wano 4 years. 4 years, bro. Oda was hyping up Wano, bro. Niggas is out there talking about, bro, it's gonna be swords under every blade of grass, bro. Samurais under every tree, bro. Every flower got a whole ninja behind it, bro. Niggas was out there, bro, like just Wano was supposed to be everything, man. And then the Kaido fight was supposed to be even more so than that. And I've heard nothing but unsatisfactory slander or insufficient hype from not only the Kaido fight but Wano in general. But Murata? One bit? Stop it, bruh.
I feel like somebody needs to defend One Piece here.
Hey, bro.
Instead of doing that, I'll just pile on. I haven't been reading it. This don't got nothing to do with the actual story. This is just what I've been hearing. Apparently, like One Piece, the sales recently, I think is the last thing I seen of it is like it's 6th in sales, which is kind of weird for One Piece. I think like the series beating it is The Promised Neverland,
Promise Neverland
Slayers.
Kingdom, Demon Slayer. There's a number of mangas beating it, but one caveat that One Piece fans will point to: Oda only put out 2 issues last year instead of his usual 3 or 4, and so that's why sales are down. Because the year before he put out, I believe, 4 volumes and he did 12 million. So he only put out 97 and 98. That counted for Oricon. So there people believe that 99. So since he's doing a giant map for 98, 99, and 100, people are believing that that'll boost the sales for this year before it gets to Oricon. But we'll see. I mean, so yeah, as I said, there's a caveat to it. I'll say the rooftop portion of Wano has been
hold on,
10 out of 10.
Hold on, bro. Niggas hate this conversation, bro. Let's keep it pushing.
Right.
Okay, all right. Gotcha.
One last thing. All the sales, all the series that are like super popular right now are the ones that are selling the most. So like Demon Slayers, Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Adventures, Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man. They're the ones that have got all the sales, and they're the ones that have got like big animes or they're wrapping up their story. So that's why the sales are so high, is because they're what's really popular right now. Any case, what Punch Man cancel the Swordsman?
Okay. All right. All right. So before we move on to the council summon, I do want to ask one question though. So Goketsu, whenever he was talking to Bakuzan, he told him that there are many dragons in there are many monsters in the Monster Association that are stronger than him. Verbatim, it says, "You hear that, Suryu? There's a Monster Association filled with monsters stronger than me." That's what Bakuzan says to Suryu. Was Goketsu talking about who was Goketsu talking about? Like, how many? Was it just one? Or it seems like there's more than one. I know we got that flash of Orochi. Was he just talking about Orochi? Like,
He said monsters, plural.
yeah. Bakuzan says monsters for sure.
I have to see that panel again, but just from like what we've seen of these monsters, you can like there's monsters you can make arguments for being stronger than Goketsu, I believe. Um, you can argue. Well, the thing about Black Sperm is I don't think he's like stronger. Just
Okay, hold on. The quote is I misstated the quote. It says,
okay.
"By the way, there are many monsters stronger than you, myself included. Don't get too full of yourself for your own sake." This is Goketsu saying this to Bakuzan.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Bakuzan says to Suiryu, "You hear that, Suiryu? There's a monster association filled with monsters stronger than me." Okay.
Okay, so Baku. Okay, so there's, but even in that, like asking the question if there's monsters stroking in Goketsu, I think you can make the argument for certain monsters. Black Sperm is one of them, just because of how hard how hard it is to deal with him. Like if you were to ask the heroes, who would you rather fight, Goketsu or Black Sperm? I believe some people will probably say Black Sperm just because they wouldn't have a way of trying to even like they wouldn't even know what to do with him. Like Atomic Samurai has been trying to experiment with how he can beat him, different type of slashes, hitting him with the back of his swords, and it still hasn't been working. So you can make the arguments for sure for different monsters.
All right. So if no one else has an opinion on that, we'll move on to the introduction of the Sword Saints, the Sword Council. So, Nichiren, and I forgot the rest of them. But his
Amahare and what's the last one? Can't remember. It's the ball guy. I can never remember.
Okay.
No clue.
Nichiren, the main guy, who has his eye, the slits over his eyes. His main disciple, or his disciple, is Spring Mustachio. Nichiren, have you guys seen Zatoichi before?
No.
Blind samurai dude, is it?
Yeah. It's the guy who Fujitora's modeled after in One Piece.
Yeah.
I think this guy is a similar iteration of that. He's using that same sword style. His eyes are closed up and stuff like that too.
Yep.
Besides like the different powers. So what do you think? Sword Saints.
They look clean. They're in their pocket to where they can be useful in this fight. I do think they will be null and void, null and void pretty soon. But for what is demanded of them right now to beat these Black Sperm, who's he's talked about how splitting will cause his strength to diminish. The more he splits and splits and splits, they can be used in this fight right now. But I think pretty soon, like their usefulness will wear out. But they looked impressive. They looked impressive. I will say that.
Yeah, I hope we get a good run with them. Is the main thing. I agree with Satsuki, but I hope it is in a way that by the time when it comes to their defeat, I hate saying this because we just met them and they're cool, but like when it comes to we're sad that they've lost. You know, I know there's a lot of characters to juggle between, but I mean, from what we've seen of them, they're very capable. They're very strong. So I want to like them. Just I want a bit more time with each of them to kind of. It's kind of like we can see how they fight, but let's see what they're like as a person too.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you. They just look so cool. The way they approached this was awesome. They made everything look easy, which is where I think a little bit of Madara's argument comes in around the kind of the power of Black Sperm in this completely divided state. But yeah, they're just so cool. I want to see more, and especially I was really surprised by the kind of relationship between Nichirin and Spring Mustachio, and I was surprised by Spring Mustachio's power. So I want to see more of that once again. I want to see if they can, for instance, combine Nichirin with Bang, see if that works, even though Bang was on the run at the end of this chapter. So it looks more like it's going to be Swordsman versus Black Sperm kind of thing. But yeah, I want to see if they're able to combine their efforts a little bit more rather than kind of dividing and taking on their own subsets of Black Sperm. Let's see if they can kind of do what the monsters aren't doing, which is work as a team rather than individuals.
Mother. He's working, remember? All right. So I'm definitely in agreement with you guys for the most part. I remember us discussing this as well about Nichiren's probable role in regards to Atomic Samurai's comment. We talked about it in the previous podcast as well. I think he's lived up to what the illusion of him was, maybe even a little bit more so than that. Especially with this like special attack. I forget what he called it. I don't think there's a particular name to it, was it?
Yeah, dude, I think that's a nameless attack.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, it's definitely a special technique, isn't it? There's got to be some kind of technique.
I don't think he said anything.
Yeah, but like the way he did it though, like you think he maybe, I guess. There's got to be a technique though, because we've seen him attack before when he left Sperm and Ribbons. He didn't like close his blade off slow like. And then it's
nah, dude, these are all nameless attacks. He's not even breaking a sweat. Look at him.
This nigga, like
Okay.
the like this is massive, bro. What he just split, like, this is massive. Nichiren himself individually. What are your opinions? I know I to state mine, I definitely agree with Sasuke for the most part. He probably has a role to fulfill, and it's the role that you think. But this is impressive nonetheless. What do you guys think?
Sure. I think when they got introduced into this arc, I said that Nichiren would be he would be the main guy because he's always been like amongst the Sword Council. He's been like the clear guy that has been like in the forefront. He has like the most lines, and he's literally mostly in the front anytime they talk and they're grouped together. So just based on that, you can infer that he's probably stronger than the other guys. Also just because of what he said with Spring Mustachio and whatnot. So I believe that he'll be sort of comparable to Bomb in the sense that he's a S-class level fighter, and also because of what this battlefield demands. Anybody who's fighting right now if they're not S-class level, they're somewhere on like the verge of it. So I think it's safe to make that assumption that he's pretty damn strong.
Yeah, I mean, just from a design perspective, the dude looks awesome as hell. But then seeing that unnamed attack splitting that entire rock face, like that's a huge surface right there that he's just split right through. And I was a little bit shocked because we haven't seen, I don't think, at least I can't remember, a similar feat made by Atomic.
Bro, is this
maybe it's
like what's going on with you today, bro? What's going on, bro?
Did you? No. It was that you know of a certain feat that Atomic has done that matches that, or
yes, it surpasses it.
Which one was it?
When they do the group combo attack, they throw the building at Sairochi. She does a blast, and then Atomic Samurai cuts through the building first, and then attacks the blast. If you look at the back panel where you see the Atomic Samurai like having a sword above his head, a cool pose after he cuts or whatever, you can see the destruction wave that was caused by like the four pieces or the different individual pieces of the bomb that was cut, and they're like at least 15 city blocks each. Like, because you're looking at it from way above in the sky, and you see like the orbs. Like, I'll just get the panel, but yeah, big big destruction.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going down the route of maybe they're specialists in like different fields. So, for instance, Nichirin might be a little bit more line drive type of guy, like he's displayed here, whereas Atomic has been known for his significant speed and completely just atomizing whatever he's attacking. So I thought but the line I was going down is maybe they're specialists in different areas, and we might get to see a little bit more of that. And I'm assuming that just because they have different styles as well. So maybe even if Atomic is capable of doing what Nichirin is doing, maybe we should still see a difference in their styles and what they're better at doing in comparison to each other.
Matt?
Yeah, I mean, these guys said Nichirin's cool. As you said, he's got the blind swordsman design, which is a standout. It looks cool. I think obviously the fact he's got a disciple is more interesting too, and it's someone we know. It's Spring Mustachio. I don't really have a lot to add about him. I just look at him and go, that's a cool guy. Yeah, that's it.
This nigga Matt. Spring Mustachio versus Ian. Go.
Where they fighting? That's it.
No,
they're fighting in a long corridor.
It seems like Ian is more balanced. It's just a matter of I think that's the point of like Matt's question. It's just it seems like this attack that he used in this chapter would be more potent than what Ian has, but can he use it? That's the only question.
Mm-hmm. Is you're asking? I know you're asking a fight. Who's the better hero? I give to Ian because it's just the versatility that he's got in comparison to just the tomboy thrust, the tomboy barrage. You know, like it's powerful as we see, but he's got to be in that exact situation to use it. You know, as they said, he's like, oh, well, he has to be at this level, and he's good at that level. As Nichirin says, he's like, you know, he's content staying there because that's where his abilities will let him go. But even then, it's just Ian can do just a bit more, you know.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of them. Rather than being a one trick, Ian is more balanced. He seems to have a different personality in terms of he's a great leader. I think he's been in more situations where he's faced significantly stronger enemies. So I would bet mostly on Ian just because of experience, his qualities, and his actual balanced nature. But if they were fighting in a long corridor, I think you'd have to bet on our boy Spring Mustachio.
Damn, it's crazy how Ian fought Melzigard. Even as for water, black sperm, but Spring Mustachio can beat him. All right.
No,
Wait, what?
I think didn't we all say the opposite of that?
Oh y'all! Oh, okay, thanks. All right.
Who are you listening to, man? 3 of us said it.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great host!
No, yeah, you're right. Ian got it, bro. You got it. You can cut that shit, bro. Spring out here looking nice, bro, with this tomboy barrage, bro. His initial tomboy is badass too, bro. Like, Nichirin out here hyping him up, but you know, Ian would deflect all that shit, man.
I doubt it.
All right, next portion of the chapter to move on to. I guess we could touch upon Genos. No, nothing to say about Genos, right?
Not really. He shows up and goes, "Here's tank top. Bye." That's like there's generally nothing to say about him.
I'm just so excited about my boy, bro. Like, oh, like, bro. If he doesn't get a chance to show up against Garou, I'm gonna be mad. As mad as I would be if Fubuki shows out against Garou, I'm going to be mad if Genos doesn't show out against Garou. He has to do something, bro. Put it all on the line.
But is Genos that capacity though? Can he? Does he have his Because he's not been fully rejuvenated, has he?
No.
Like he must be at like what 35, 40%, maybe even less than that.
Agreed, but like to me,
No, I mean I'm still looking for a clapping. I wouldn't mind seeing that and seeing Genos try go all out. But I do think we'd have to be fair and say that Genos has been putting in some mad work over the last however many chapters,
I
and
was gonna
he
say,
is. Go ahead.
Grim, would you be okay with that? Obviously, because Genos is not at full fighting capacity. If these guys fight, and Garou, who should be coming back now stronger than he's ever been, he's at a point now where he's given other S-class heroes a clear run for their money. And would you be really okay if Genos was to fight him now, with Genos not really being in a state to properly fight someone like Garou?
well, that's the thing. I do not see the only reason why. Okay, so if you were to look at it, close your eyes and picture like a balance scale, right? On one side, there's the people who are arguing that that because of the story's plot, what's happened so far, that Genos should not be having a great of an impact. And that the fact that he's injured and he has low energy is going to be the scapegoat as to why he won't do those things. It'll be the reason why he won't body Garou, or if anything, even if he wasn't going to body the Garou, it'll be the reason why Genos doesn't make a big difference because of what we just seen. But on the other side of the scale, which may just be myself alone, the very fact that what we just saw from Genos is why he hasn't degraded Genos enough in regards to injuries or loss of power for me to believe that he's not still at that crazy high level. Like, we just saw him fight an above dragon with his beams and cannons. I'm not saying that hand to hand is going to be the same thing. There's a stark difference there. He doesn't have the 10-second mode anymore. We don't even know if he can move that fast anymore either, if it boosted up other attributes as well. All I'm saying is that so far, to me, there's nothing saying that Genos is not still like a very strong dragon in terms of fighting capability right now. Like, he said it himself, as long as he doesn't like go into that 10-second mode, he won't overwork himself. And he's had tank top on his back. That's why he hasn't been able to fight back as easily or as well as he could. Even if he could fight back well, it's Black Sperm. What is he gonna do? Like, blow him up? Like, there's nothing he can really do that's special. So he's in the same predicament as a lot of the other heroes, where he can't really shine right now because of the opponent. But the opponent that allows him to shine is here now. And we already talked about like the whole rematch aspect. Like, that's a really, really good plot point. If we get to see a whole gauntlet of Garou coming through with the rematches to show him like, hey, you're not stronger still. Like, I beat you one time and I'm gonna beat your ass again to all these niggas. I would be down for that. To me, it's not just because Genos is my boy. And it's mostly because Genos is my boy. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna cap, bro. Like, 98% of this shit is because this nigga's my boy. He looks cool as fuck, bro. Cannons, cyborg. Yes. So no, bro. Fuck the Fubuki scenario for this. If Genos interferes in this state, which I, on one side of the scale, don't believe is that inferior from what he was before, then I think it would be fine. If he is that inferior, sure. And I'm not even saying that, like, I know I've been rambling for a little bit now. I don't know if I'm being clear, but I'm not saying that, like, I don't think that, or that I think Genos is going to beat Garou. I'm saying that, like, I would like to see a cool fight from what we saw before.
Oh, thinking about Black Sperm, it's a good thing the anime ended where it ended with One Punch Man. Like, I'm just imagining them trying to animate Black Sperm, JC staff. Oh my god, it would be terrible. They couldn't even do like some of the basic shit. If they were to animate these fights, oh my god, One Punch Man would
Like
be
the
on
only
mud.
the only fight they did halfway decent was the A class heroes versus Garou. Other than that, the animation was trash for that whole season.
Yep.
Like, I guess they didn't have enough time to like animate it, but still, like, this is One Punch Man. This is the series that gave us Boros versus Saitama, and you come back with this, a slap in the face.
They would have been fighting this arc. Ooh. But to the Garou thing, or to the Genos thing, depending on how the fight goes with Garou and Bomb, then that kind of that will, because we don't know how strong Garou is right now. If he's significantly stronger, like if there's a huge power boost, I don't think Genos should be able to hang with him, depending on how big that power boost is. But we don't know how big it will be.
Dude, this guy, last time we saw Garou, he was folding Alloy. Like, I don't think Genos could fold Alloy.
I mean, if his new design says anything, like, he's a different league now.
This nigga's a bro. Like, this is one upgrade. Kusino said, I'm gonna give you this one upgrade, and you're gonna be able to do that thing to a lot of niggas, bro. A lot of niggas. You can't tell me that Garou might not be on the list, but Garou might be on this list, bro.
Yeah,
bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna say the fight between Garou and Bomb is gonna be a one shot. I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna disrespect Bomb like that. But I'm gonna tell you this: Bomb gonna wish that shit was a one shot.
yeah, yo. What is Bomb's fighting style called again?
The
whirlwind cutting
fist. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, okay.
No, yeah, that's well, let me put it like this. Without further ado, the moment, the conversation, the topic, the aspect that you came here for, viewers. Garou. We're here. Oh. Before we just gawk at his design, no homo. Like what was like? What was going through your head? What was like the emotion? Like what was? Oh man!
Like, my very first thought is that does that nigga have engines on his back? you see that?
You do look messed up.
Like my lord, is that like did he get some like tech? Like my man's back is glowing.
Niggas have been calling him Mecha Garou.
I mean, it looked like he got boosters. Now, if that's natural, then that's wild. Like if his evolution, his base evolution, his limit break is him getting, laser beams or, some type of way to propel himself, a propulsion system, that's wild, bro. That's wild.
What are you gonna say, Matt?
I was gonna say my first thought when I saw his back, I was like, shit, this is too soon. Like they've only barely taken down possibly one of the remaining cadres, and he's shown up now. I was like, no, this is amazing that Garou's here, but this is awful because Garou's here.
Oh shit, bruh. I love the way these niggas don't follow any type of storytelling logic at all, bro. Like, you would expect, the climax, Garou to come at the end. Nah, brother. Bro. Bruh. This nigga came in, bro. What's good, Sundown? What's good, Sasuke, bro? What happened to y'all meets when y'all saw Garou?
What?
Okay. wait. Hold up. Nah.
That's a foul, Grim. That's a foul, Grim.
Nah, my meat did not experience a change, man. But listen,
foul play.
When I first read it, my first thought when I seen Garou is, I hate that these bitch ass niggas spoiled me on this panel. That was my literal first thought, because I already seen it before I did my live reaction to that chapter. So, it's a shame because it was an epic moment and it's something that we've all been waiting for. When is Garou going to come into this fight and who is he going to fight against? So the fact that it's Bomb is going to be a show of his power. There's going to be a test. This is how we gauge Garou, and that's why I feel like he has to wash Bomb almost, because if you have it to where Bomb is hanging in there and you know, there's the X factor of Fubuki, so she changes things. But if you have it to where he's hanging in there, then you cap Garou. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, Garou has a thing where he can get stronger and stronger through these fights. So there's that. But I feel like if you want to have Garou be this imposing threat in a story, you have to have him watch Bomb just so we can't even properly gauge him. So that's how I feel about Garou.
Damn. You may be right, bro. The first person he fights, he probably has to devastate us.
We were talking about this last time, and I fully agree. Like, I don't want him to. If I wanted to do anyone, it'd be a monster. But, you know, Bomb in terms of story is one of the less important characters here. So he can go down pretty quick if we need him to.
My God, this man is. Sundown?
I think Bomb about to take one for the team. I mean, first off, this panel I thought was amazing. Just the different lighting, like you see it, the light coming in through the split of his hair, through the little kind of the bicycle backlights he's got. But yeah, I think the best summary of this is just Bomb's expression, where you look at his face and he's basically ready for a fight to the death. He knows this is going to go all the way, and he knows that, you know, a slight mistake will be the end of him. Look at that face, man. That's not the face of someone who knows he's going to win. That's not even the face of someone who knows he can necessarily put up a fight. And he's calling for bang straight away. I'm just like, damn. I think Satsuki might be right, and same with Matt, where it might quite literally be a situation where, to show us some element of where Garou stands, Bomb might be getting clapped.
The only thing that leaves me hope that Bomb will be able to hang in a little in this fight is the factor of Bang coming into it. They could do one or two things. They could have these two fight as a team against Garou, or they can do it to where Bomb gets washed and Bang comes in and just sees the aftermath of his brother just beating the hell up by his student, and then, you know, they can go from there. But if you do it that way, I feel if he already beat Bomb, who Bang has already said is stronger than him, then we know how that fight is going to go.
That's what I was gonna say next. Yeah, that like the Bang fight has to be more emotional, has to be more intact. Like in the beginning, you said that the first person who he has to beat, we agreed upon this last stream, like Matt mentioned, that he has to just wash him to show how devastating he really is. But the problem is that he didn't really beat Darkshine, and apparently Bang is stronger than Darkshine, or poses a different kind of threat, as formidable, if not more so, as Darkshine, at least in their bout that they had before. So I don't necessarily think that maybe they should be fighting somebody differently, because you're right, I do agree that we should get that devastating show of force, but maybe we could take the previous example, right, with up against Darkshine. He didn't get a big ass show of force. He popped up. Well, I mean, technically he did with Pooty, sure. But we all knew Pooty wasn't going to stand a chance regardless. But up against Darkshine, there wasn't like no big introduction, big clapping or whatever. Like, it took over time. He had to grow through the fight. Almost the same thing with Metal Bat as well. Like, Metal Bat Metal Bat was defending himself from the very beginning. Like, the first attack Garou did, Metal Bat blocked it. So, like, maybe the actual pattern with Garou is that he has to muddle through these fights. And sure, that may be diminishing to a certain extent. But did you really think less of Garou whenever he was fighting through Darkshine?
No. If anything, that just shows his resilience. He's that fighter that, unless you take him out from the very start, like, you have to watch him immediately. If you keep giving him chances after chance after chance, he will grow within the fight and eventually overwhelm you.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, Superalloy Oil Shine used the bazooka and the missile, and Garou still handled it. Like, I don't know, man. This guy is something else.
He's like a walking Zen caboose.
pretty much. Like, and even though Bang said next time he sees him, he won't hold back. It's like, I doubt it.
Yeah.
He's still gonna hold back. It's your student. He's. I don't think Bang is ever gonna go fully all out on Garou.
I definitely think we could entertain, as we have been doing, the different possibilities of this Bang Garou encounter. I don't agree with. I don't know if Sundown alluded to this on accident or if that's how he saw it, but I don't agree that Bomb called Bang because he knew what kind of threat it was. I think he called him because he knew that Bang wanted to deal with it himself. Kind of like what happened up against the first time when Genos was there. Like Bomb didn't hop in to like beat him. He just let Bang deal with it. So
Yeah, I take back what I said. Looking at his face there, it might be more of a duty thing. He wants his brother to deal with it and get first pop at it rather than go for it himself.
yeah, that's what I got. Especially with like Atomic Samurai reaffirming that on his end and like Bomb's demeanor at the end of the chapter. I definitely that's the vibe that I got. So that's why even more so I'm like you guys mentioned all the reasons as to why it would be credible and reasonable to have Bomb go out first. Like you guys already stated it and it makes sense. And it could happen as possible and as plausible as any other like possibility. But like maybe I just like this nigga Bang or Bomb. Like maybe just bro, especially the way I'm sorry, bro. The way he was looking at Garou this chapter, bro, like bro, low key. Bomb about to fade, bro. Low key.
He do look like he won't smoke.
Yeah, he does.
This ain't gonna be
That's
no
like-
joke.
That's like the most serious we've seen him before. Not to say that he has like a comedy chibi face, but he looks dead ass serious. Like, bro, this ain't no joke no more.
So like that.
Do you guys think there's a possibility of this being a fake, in the sense of Garo's popped up right in front of Bomb, Bang's been called over, he's in front of Fubuki, but could Garo just completely, because he doesn't look like he's completely, I'm not sure if conscious is the right term, but it looks like he's not really thinking for himself. He looks kind of in some sort of state where he's not thinking for himself. So do you reckon he might go for someone else? Like he just looks around the battlefield and goes and attacks a monster or something.
Yeah, she's good. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I was going to say, it could be, because that was what happened when he fought Darkshine, if you remember. Like, he was in that... when he was, like, unconscious, he was just, like, in a state like a monster until he came out of it, and then that's when he started to fight Darkshine for real, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it could just be another thing like that, where that's, like, his monster side taking over. And if he has any humanity, he could take control and fight with more accuracy, but it could just be, like, a full-on rage. It's like what they said about monsters was, like, they're all about strength. What makes Garou a problem is he uses technique. He knows how to take down humans.
True.
But Sundown's question is very interesting. But the reason why I still think they're going to face off is just because of what we've seen with Puri Puri Prisoner. Garou's in this feral state, whatever you want to call it. He's attacking anything in the vicinity. He's not just ignoring things because of his connection to him. He woke up, beat Puri Puri's ass, and then proceeded to fight Darkshine. And you had to kind of get like a conscious within that fight. So if he still is in this feral state, I think he's just attacking anything in sight. It could be the case though where he goes off somewhere else, because if he does fight these two, not only will Bang be involved in it, Tatsumaki eventually will have to be, knowing that her sister is with Mom. So there's that.
I didn't even think about that part.
It definitely, like, that would be a curveball. That's a whole wrench if Garou were to avoid this first confrontation here. I don't think it's probable. It is really sudden to have this pivotal of a confrontation happening, though, because we're directly in the implication that Bang's going to fight Bomb, or Bang's going to fight Garou now. That's what half of this thing has been about. So it does seem kind of sudden for that, but one of the greatest things about One Punch Man is that you don't necessarily have a good way to pin what's going to happen next. Like, he does a really good job of not doing what he's supposed to do. and I like that.
True.
But one thing, I guess we can talk about the design. I wanted to talk about a different topic involving Garou, but it kind of intertwines with design, so I just mentioned them at the same time. As we comment on this spectacular appearance and your opinions on it, whether you think it's better than the previous ones or how do you feel about that? Let's also touch on monstrification. We have the clear signs here. Now that I mentioned something about original growth and transformation, I think this has to do something with him turning into a monster, the way he looks like this. So I'd love to entertain a conversation where we talk about if Garou were to grow outside of evil or whatever, would he look different or could he even reach this point? Like, is it required for him to do all these evil things and fight these people in this instance for him to become this strong? Like, why is Garou turning into this form? Why is he turning into a monster? Like, he didn't need a monster cell. Is he being mutated? Why does Garou look like this?
Yeah, because I'm actually looking at Rover's design, and he has a lot of similarities to his design right now with his monsterification. But to your point about why is he transforming into this now, I think it goes back to what Satsuki brought up, and what even Matt brought up about his fight against when he fought Prisoner and when he fought Alloy as Agony. He seems to be going in between the human state and the monster state, to where he's unconscious at one moment, he gets beat up, and then in the middle of the fight, he wakes up. And then, when he's in human mode, he pretty much obliterates, everyone he's going against. But in the monster mode, I mean, obviously he has faster regen abilities in his monster mode. But, here, I'm gonna lean more towards him being unconscious again and having to wake up once he's actually fighting Bomb. That's what I'm gonna lean towards.
Matt Sundown, Suzuki.
In terms of his, because I think the question was more around, damn, I forgot what the question was. What was the question on?
So your overall thoughts on the design, like if you like it better than the previous ones, if you think he would like look different if he took a different path of growth.
Yeah. So
and then,
so his design, I think it's cool. I like it. I'm not so sure about the kind of the veins of lighting, kind of like he's an RGB PC of some sort. But it is cool, and I do like it. I think it's quite cool. I think what I find the most striking are the bandages that are kind of still wrapped around his body and kind of flinging in the air around the back of him. That looks really cool. And then the kind of extra layers around his shoulders and forearms. That looks awesome. But I think, and I've forgotten because I haven't reread that chapter, but there was the whole Dr. Genos explanation around monsterification, or was it limit break? And I think this kind of fits in with that, and it's around a person's drive. So I'm not sure if Garou would be undergoing this exact same transformation if he was quote unquote good, just because his drive and his motivation has been so single-minded because of the way he's been approaching it and because of his angst and his kind of hate for hero society. So I think that's been the motivating factor for this, and his kind of his desire to cling to that and his unwillingness to budge from his hatred. That's what's caused this, and it wouldn't be the same if he was just like, for instance, like Saitama trying to do good and breaking his limit that way. That's how I see it. Anyway, it might be a completely wrong explanation, but that's what I got.
I got the panel here and the quote here. It's from chapter 88. It says, humans become monsters due to a desire to transform into something else through their bad habits, a complex, or a burst of dissatisfied frustration. They begin their transformation due to their environment that causes an anomaly in their cells, while others are made through the power of chemicals, like with my research. Additionally, numerous cases of non human life forms becoming monsters due to pollution and the like have also been found. They, however, become completely different beings that have nothing to do with removing their limiter. You could call the sea folk that invaded J City or the aliens that appeared in A City monsters in a broader sense, but they were such sentient beings to begin with, the natural enemies of humans, so speak of. That's the first part was the only part that really applied. I guess
Yeah, I think that's about
yeah. Matt?
I like the design. It's really cool. In terms of like what he yes is the answer. Like he obviously would look different if he took a different path. And that's mostly because obviously, it's like what you turn into is a reflection of yourself. Like if he was a different guy and he monstified it's monstification. It's like the first thing we learn is like, I ate too much crab. I became a crab man. I did too much of this. I became this kind of person. So if you have to try and break it down really, obviously like he fights a lot, which is why it's a very like super fighting style. Like it's a very battle looking monster more than anything. I didn't even think about limits on Garou, but that's definitely something that is when did it say, like, didn't it say a couple chapters ago, well, like a couple chapters ago, a while ago, that he was starting to break his limit? What chapter was that?
Was that while he was fighting Darkshine, where it was saying something wrong?
Something along those lines, yes. I think it was when he's pinned down at some point. I think it was just like at the end of that battle. I think he was starting to break through his limiter.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure where this lands. Whether this is more monstrification or more. Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be limit breaking because we know what it was like for Saitama when he broke his limit. I don't know. Like, but in terms of, it's like his ambition. He's like, I always wanted to be like this greatest monster. So this is maybe like what he always saw as like the greatest monster. It's him, but obviously monstified more than anything. And that's like his ambition. Whereas, and obviously he's been through like negative emotions too, which brought him to this bit, especially like, him unfortunately not like living up to Tario standards, like his whole like regret of being like, sorry, I'm a monster. And he got that really dark panel from before. I think it looks great. But maybe like the bandages are showing that there is like still a human side to him as well. So that's like the bandages are cool, but obviously, we don't. Well, actually, that's not true. I don't know. I need to think about it more, but it's a cool design. Is my final answer on
that. It's not my favorite design. It looks a little too mechy for me. No, that's not a word, but it looks kind of similar. Like when I first seen it, the first thing I thought of was Drive Night. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Not saying it's a bad design. I think if anything, what's good about it is it's symbolic of his transformation gradually into becoming a monster, and his outfit has been attest to that because before it's just like clothes, and then at some point it starts to like look to be a part of his body, the way it's clinging so tightly to him. And like now he's like glowing and shit. It's like he doesn't even look human anymore. So I think his design is just, while I don't like it more than the other designs, I think is good just in the symbolism and like what it represents.
So one of the final parts of the chapter was Atomic Samurai acknowledging that Bang has to take on this threat alone. Previously, it looks like he was not necessarily on the fence because he definitely reprimanded Child Emperor, or it looked like he would have reprimanded Child Emperor. He was also curious as to why Bang wasn't initially on the operation. So he definitely had trust in Bang. But whenever he had the meeting with the Sword Saints, he told them that his feelings may interfere with the mission, and that's actually what it turned out to be, the truth. So that seems like a good step of development for Atomic Samurai in regards to what he said. Like hey, he's disrespectful to trying to interfere with this going on right now. We gotta let him basically redeem himself as a master, whatever that means. So it was cool to see from Atomic. I definitely think that Banks can do the same exact thing he did before, though. Try and spare Garou somehow.
I don't think Garou needs sparing, to be honest. Put him down.
So before we head out, is there anything else pivotal, important, or huge you guys want to refer to or discuss in the chapter?
This is a small part of the chapter, but is it safe for me to call Black Sperm a racist? Well, I guess he wouldn't be a racist since Darkshine is not black, but
oh shit! I seen whatchamacallit, bro. I don't know if this is real or not, but have you guys seen a bunch of posts from something? What's that guy named Coleman or something like that?
Yes, I saw it yesterday. Like Ronnie Coleman, is it?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, yeah. Ronnie Coleman, yeah.
Is there some type of confirmation that Darkshine is Ronnie Coleman now? Because I know, obviously the character's literally modeled after him, but we got the whole information in story that he doesn't really look black. He started off as a little skimpy jit or whatever, light skinned or whatever. So what's this about? Is that a retcon, or is that he just now figuring out that the character was modeled after him?
I don't think he was probably looking for characters that were modeled after him. I think someone just showed it him one day, and then he was like, "Oh, sick." Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's. Just look at it. It's an actual thing he posted on Instagram, and essentially shots of him side by side with very similar poses.
All right. Okay. I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, it's really all I can think of. So that's gonna be it, guys, for chapter 146 podcast. We had a variety of great events. Topping them off was the arrival of Garou. Black Sperm didn't shy away from also being a star of the chapter, probably. And there's a bunch of other aspects that are going to lead into 147. If you guys would like to speculate, predict, and converse about 147, 146, and any of the chapter 1 Punch Man, we have links in the description for the Discord. It's a community where we talk about all anime and manga all the time as easily as you can. In the description, you can also find links to the different channels of the individuals in the podcast. This is Sasuke. Oh shit. Sasuke, Matt, Sundown. Make sure you check out their channels. They put out content of all sorts all the time, every day. Matt's gonna put out a whole series of shit, so check out his shit.
Yeah, sure.
I was definitely about to say cap as soon as you said that. I don't know when's the last video I've made. I've done some streams, but I have not made a video in a while.
Oh shit! All right, well, if you guys want to check out that hiatus, you already know where it's at.
The hiatus.